Sogle amche CCR TV Polinarank, my Morgatso Yokar. A warm welcome to each and every one of you who you are watching at this moment the CCR TV, and we have the champion football club for the grassroots level, that is under 13 and under 15, and the club is called Compassion Sports Club. We have the president of the club, Kennedy De Silva. Welcome.
Thank you very much to CCR TV.
We have the captain of the under 13 team, Asma Bandurkar. Welcome, bhai.
Thank you.
And we have the head coach of Compassion, both I suppose under 13 and under 15, Milton Fernandez.
Thank you so much.
My Magaso Yokar Baba Milton. And the captain of under 15 team, that's Lilian Rodriguez.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to all of you. And it's a proud moment for Goa that your team, Compassion, has become champions both in under 13 and under 15. How could you achieve this championship, winning both at the same time, almost with almost same players for both the teams?
Well, by the way, we started this about 5 years back, and that time you were the General Secretary of the GFA, and we started with the Vedanta tournament, and from there onwards we have, the first year we did not very well perform in the GFA Vedanta Cup, but the next year we started an academy, residential academy of the Compassion Football Club, and it's been 4 years since then that our teams have been performing excellently in the age group tournaments, as well as we have gone on to win the runners-up trophy last year in the Vedanta Cup. But for the grassroots has been always our concern, and we look at it as a nursery to produce players in Goa and then give them to all the other teams, not only in Goa but also to the teams across in India. And
So
that
means your preparations had started 4 years back.
very much. We have been there in the last 4 years continuously working with girls from all over Goa.
Yeah.
So it is not only from a particular place or from a particular school, but we have been involved with different schools, with different places in rural as well as in urban areas.
And were you expecting to be victorious both in under 13 as well as under 15?
Surely this thing is because for the last 3 years we have won the under 17 title, we have won the under 15 title, and we have won the under 13 title. So the thing has been that we are kind of more or less synonymous to victory these days because of the kind of girls that are being trained with us at Compassion.
And Milton, you have been the head coach of both the teams. Were you expected or were you expecting?
Yes, very much. We have very talented girls who are joining the team. And now, as we say, after 4 years, I think people and the young players also know that Compassion is a strong team. We had in the first week of January participated in a tournament at Anandpur. That was also a stepping stone where it's now become like an ecosystem where from age group like under 13, under 15, under 17, we help, support and nurture young players to do better for our state and even beyond.
And how do you select or how do you get the players?
Through our good contact with many of us, we contact the parents, we contact the schools, the physical education teachers who have been with us. We keep our relationship with basically the physical education teacher and scout the players. Then we have a trial where we train them, and then we see that whichever player suits our system of play, and we want to encourage anyone who is really interested.
Lillian, you have been the captain of the under 15 team.
Yes.
When did you start playing football and where?
I started playing football at the age of 6, and I'd initially started at Wi-Fi. That was like a club.
The Wi-Fi is
Youth Futsal Academy.
Youth Futsal Academy. That is Joshua Socorro.
Yes.
Yeah. So you started with futsal.
Yes, sir. And there we also used to play football, so I got a.
Okay.
Support.
And you are from which place?
I'm from Velsa
And which school have you been?
in Vidya Vikas Academy.
That is in
In
Margao.
Margao.
And does the school offer you enough chances to develop your talent in sports, in football especially?
Earlier we didn't have many chances, but now they've gotten more into sports and they're giving us more opportunities.
Yeah. Now, in your school, you have played for which teams?
I've played for the football team, the basketball team, and the athletics.
So you are in basketball, you are in athletics and football.
Yes.
And which is the one which you enjoy the most?
Actually, all of them.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yes.
okay. You don't want to discriminate. But definitely there will be some which is little more than the others.
I do enjoy football and athletics. That is my passion, and I really want to do something great in that.
And what made you get into sports?
So, when I was younger, my brother, I always wanted to do everything he did. So, first I got into football and I really liked it. And then eventually, like when I was 10, I got into athletics and it went from there.
Okay. And how do you manage playing 3 games?
I take it one at a time. I don't do it all together. So, yeah.
Yeah. And you give equal attention to all, or football comes first?
Football does come before.
Why?
Because I'm good at the sport. I've known that sport longer, and I really want to do something.
Yeah. And does the school encourage you?
Yes, they do, but they could be a bit more supportive towards.
Yeah. Okay. But you are happy.
Yes.
And what about Asma? Which school do you go?
St. Thomas Girls High School, Aldona.
In Aldona. And you are from which place?
I'm from Aldona National.
From Aldona itself.
Yeah.
And you have been now going to the school for how many years?
When I was in nursery.
In the nursery. Okay. From nursery, and now you are in which standard?
6th.
You are in standard 6th. And football is your most preferred sport.
Yes.
And the other sports that you play?
Volleyball, badminton, and athletics also.
In athletics also. And have you been playing for the school team?
Yes.
Which teams?
Under 14 football, badminton, volleyball, and athletics.
Yeah. And are you happy with the support that you get from your school?
Yes.
And this year you played for under 13 for your club team, Compassion.
Yeah.
Now, how many games did you play?
Around 4 or 5 something.
4 or 5 games that you
But
played.
apart from that, you also played
Yeah.
the LG tournament, right?
Yes.
Now, in the finals in under 13, which team did you play?
Finals.
Of under 13? Yeah.
Union of Cincinnati Villagers.
Okay. So you played in the final Union, and what was the score?
We won the finals in a tiebreaker,
Ah.
and it was 5-4.
Yeah.
Although in the previous matches in the league, we defeated them in the first round 2-1, and in the second round we beat them 6-1.
Okay.
But in the finals, we did not have 2 of our key players for the final match, and then it was a draw, and then we won in the tiebreaker.
Yeah. And Lillian, which team did you play in the finals of under 15?
We played
Sirwade Sports Club.
Sidwade.
Sirvode, okay. Sirvode at one time was a powerhouse in women's football.
Yes.
And overall, what do you think, Milton, about women's football in Goa?
I think the future is really bright, and I would give the credit to GFDC program, which has started long back. Maybe now there are some hiccups and all, but many of the girls who are coming up now, even because personally I've been in touch with all the age groups in women's football.
That is your Goa Football Development Council.
Yeah, that council, then GFA and various clubs. They have been encouraging schools also, the PE teachers. So there are many talented girls who have picked up the sports. Their basics is good, they are good in that technique, but they have to be in the right channel and the pathway has to be right. And the future is bright for our young girls.
Yeah. Now they have played just one tournament.
Yes.
And that must have been for how long? The duration of
Almost a month.
a month. So
Yeah.
they played for a month, and then what happens for the rest of the year?
The young girls are playing for their schools also.
Okay.
They are in the Young Gores League. So they get a lot of opportunities. And if they work hard on their own, do their individual practice, I think the future is really bright for them.
Yeah, but Kennedy, women's football has never been of late the strong point of Goan football.
Let me just get back to you. 2 years back, Goa won the Under-17 National Championship. And in that team of 22 players, 14 players comprised from Compassion Football Club, and the first 11 were all from Compassion Football Club. We have been taking our girls to Anantapur for a residential training program during which is called as a summer camp. And we keep training them
Anandpur is where now?
in Andhra Pradesh.
Andhra Pradesh.
And then we have been participating in the All India Inter Academy Football Championship for the last 4 years in the Inspire Cup organized by La Liga and the Anandpur Sports Academy
That's again
in Andhra Pradesh.
In Andhra.
In Andhra Pradesh. That tournament has the top players of the country. In fact, this year's Under-17 tournament had 9 of the Indian players playing in that tournament, which we had our girl who also plays for India is also a part of that tournament. So we go and have our residential training summer camp there in Anantapur for about 8 to 10 days.
Okay.
Then we are also allowing our players to play in the, like when Asma was struggling to answer that question of yours, she has played 10 matches of the Little Gores Under-13 tournament organized by the FC Goa. That tournament also we have been winning for the last 2 years, 3 years I think, 3 years that we have been winning as well. So plus the girls are all, most of them, once they go from our thing, they go to the same school, same higher secondary like Rosary, and then they go to the same college. And so the continuity is maintained so that they continue to play with us and they play with the same schools and the same girls. So if you go to see in the girls tournaments that are happening, higher secondary tournaments, whether it is organized by DSY or the school nationals, Rosary has been the winners over the years because our girls are playing. Naveli. So all our girls study there and then we make sure that they are studying there. And then they are participating for them. And then they win the tournaments as well. And then they go for the school nationals. So that's the continuity that we have tried to maintain. I told you in the beginning itself, we are kind of a nursery. We found that there was a lacuna of this kind. There was a big gap that was happening. Of course, like what Milton addressed, is that GFTC centers have been promoting and doing a lot for football, but there must be a platform for them to play. And that platform is being provided by Compassion to the girls across Goa. And therefore, we have these winning teams.
Okay.
If not, then it would not have happened.
Yeah. And what is the ultimate objective of these girls in women's football?
Our whole intention right now is to make girls to play for the national team and the national team doing well in the FIFA rankings for India. We already have had 3 players who have played for the national team. We have several girls who are playing for the inter-university teams, and our inter-university teams for Goa University have won the All India Inter-University or runners-up and the West Zones in the last 3-4 years.
Milton, you were in the Goa University. You were the director of your sports. And how successful were the girls at the inter-university level?
The girls have been recently doing very well. We are almost on the last 3-4 years. the girls team has been participating in the Khelo India. Now Khelo India is the top 8 universities of India. So you qualify through the zone, we come under the West zone, then we go for the All India, and we come to the top 8. This year it has not happened, it is going to happen. And our girls are really doing well. This is a strong team which is there, and we hope and pray that definitely they'll do well, because as a young director in Xavier College, my passion was knowing what is happening, that we could play well in inter-college, inter-university, and I feel now that we have lot of talented girls who can perform at the highest level in India and represent the country.
Yeah. Asma, have you played for your school football team in the inter-school championship?
Yes.
And how successful was your team?
Like for the first match, we did not have a player, so and we that day only we got to know that our goalkeeper is overage. So the first match only we got.
And did you win any matches at the inter-school level?
I don't know, because I played this year only.
Okay.
Last year I think so they had played for quarterfinals.
There is the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
And last year you were not in your football team?
No.
No. So you took to football only this year?
Last year I was playing football for the LGL League.
LGL means?
Little Gods League.
Little Gods, that is FC Goa.
Yes.
Okay, okay. But you didn't play for your school team?
No.
No, you didn't play for your school team. And when you played this year for your school team and then you were selected by your club, how happy are you?
I'm very happy because I got a chance to play with Compassion team, so it was a good team, good experience for me.
Yeah, and when you played for your team, did you find any difficulty?
No, because the thing was only I was of North and I was struggling to like talk with them.
Because all the others are from the south.
Yes.
And you were only from the north.
Yes.
So it must have been a little bit tough. Our head coach, what do you say?
No, they like over a period of time now they have gelled together well, and maybe initially like a young girl traveling from the north to south, but they have bonded well, and the
You are
results.
traveling alone, Asma?
Yes.
You could do it.
Yes.
No fear, no
She
problem.
mostly travels with me. Her
Okay.
parents also, her father supports.
Okay.
He also travels along. So now I think she is very familiar with all the
And in
articles.
which standard are you?
6th.
In 6th standard. You are very young. Yeah, and you can. And Lillian, how do you manage playing and studying?
So I try to make time for both of them. So like maybe I study in the morning till evening, and then the rest of the evening I use it. for
Use
sports.
your time for
That's-
playing.
Yes.
And do you go for any special coaching, or
Yes.
you coach whenever you are called by Compassion?
Yes, sir, and I also coach for athletics.
Okay, so you go also for coaching
Yes.
in athletics, in
Yes.
basketball also?
No.
No. So it's only football and athletics?
Yes.
Yeah. And for how many hours do you regularly practice?
Normally for 1.5 to 2 hours.
Every day?
Yes, sir, and then like in my free time I'll just
Okay. And will you continue playing football, or you will give up as you grow?
I would really want to continue football.
And what is your aim in football?
I want to play for India, and
Okay. Yeah. And you have high hopes that you will play for India.
yes, because I want to work towards it.
And are you happy with your schedule of your work for football? Or you think you have to put in more dedicated hours?
I feel like I need to work more towards it.
Yeah. Overall, Kennedy, you'll be able to share with us what is needed to really uplift the women's football in Goa.
There must be a kind of a shift in the GFA policies as far as girls football and women's football is concerned. For boys, it's not a problem because there's so much happening. But for girls football, there has to be, like now we are struggling to have the under 17 tournament this year because of lack of teams. Fortunately for us, we are playing in the Little Gods and also in the GFA tournaments, and we are going for the All India tournaments. So therefore, there is no problem. But exposure, unless and until there is good amount of exposure for the girls to play, to compete, then only they will, they will show better results.
Now you have IWL, that's your
Yes.
Indian Women's League. Unfortunately, there is no Goan team in the topmost league.
We have two teams in the IWL 2, that is CESA Football Academy and also FC 2A. Now we have players from our teams because we have not been playing in the women's league. We are only focusing on the girls in the grassroots until under 17. And then, many of our girls are playing for those teams. But as far as the IWL is concerned, there was Churchill Brothers which was there once upon a time and they did not this thing. So there was a reverse and we had to play into the IWL 2. So this year the IWL 2 starts in the first week of April. And there are 3 pools of the IWL in which 2 pools are being played in Goa and the third pool is being played in Bangalore. So in the 2 pools, CESA is placed in one pool and 2A, FC 2A is in the other pool. There is a possibility that CESA might qualify and go into the IWL for next year, provided they are the top 3 teams in each of these pools. If they reach the top team as a top team, then they could qualify for the next year's IWL.
Because there are some girls from Goa in IWL 1 and they seem to be very happy because they say we get good money also.
My under 15 Lillian has been there only because Clea is not there. Clea is one of our under 15 players and she is playing for Interkashi this year.
That is IWL 1.
IWL
Yeah.
2. IWL 2.
Okay.
But she's already been promised by the Interkashi team that when she goes into the next year, she gets a 4-time hike in the present fees that she's already getting.
More or less, do you know how much?
She is in the range of 75,000 to 80,000 rupees for this year.
Okay.
And if she goes to go play there, she would get about 3 lakhs plus.
Is it? So that means it now pays to be in women's football finally.
IWL, the norms have been set by the All India Football Federation that everybody who plays in the IWL should get this minimum amounts as a professional player.
Yeah, because in the past they
It was
were
not
get
there.
nothing.
It was not there.
Yeah.
But therefore also, then who are the corporates which are involved to put that money in it? So when you say that IWL 1, we don't have teams, is basically because the focus is not there from the corporates for women's football, except that CESA does the tournament Vedanta.
Yeah, but
now they are promoting.
CESA also would sponsor the tournament at one stage and never fielded the team. It's only, I think, for the last 2 years.
This year. This is the first year.
This is the first year. So unless you have the corporates coming in, the standard and in terms of remuneration, it will not go very high.
If the finances are not there, what is the scope? Today we don't have jobs for our sports people. Earlier, you remember, customs used to take players, police team used to take players. There were several vacancies in the government sector as well as in the private sector. Salgaonkars, Dempos, CESA, everybody had players who would also get jobs. But nowadays that jobs market is completely closed kind of for sports people. Then what is the other way around? Now ISL is there and there are players who get the money. Therefore, there is some motivation is finances.
Yeah, if you talk of men's football in Goa, they play because they get money.
Absolutely.
Number one. And if you play at the highest, that's your ISL, you get very big money. And then it is your I League, and then you come down and you play for professional league. Professional league is also money.
Yes.
And you go down to the even third division. I was told even third division is also money. If you don't pay the players, they don't turn up for the match. This is not happening in women's football.
We stopped with our women's team this year is basically because of that. the funding is required. And if we don't have enough funding, why should players come and play for us? But we have become a kind of a nursery now, producing players and giving it to the top teams.
Yes.
So that they can earn the money. We don't have the money.
But
we-
how do you manage? You are not a corporate.
We are not at all a corporate. We are just managing on friends and benefactors who are helping us with family. If not for our families and our friends, we would not be able to run it at all. We are struggling all the time. Yet, just that we are trying to keep the Goan flag high in football because of our passion and because of our love for football.
Yeah.
And there are parents like Asma's dad, Santosh Bandurkar, we have Lillian's dad, and many of these parents who now, earlier, we used to get the girls from different places to come for trainings every day, pick them up, bring them, and drop them. Nowadays, the parents themselves have understood our problems and they bring their children and come to the ground.
Lillian, in which standard are you now?
I'm in the 8th standard.
You are in the 8th. Very soon you will be going to the 10th.
9.
No,
Ninth and 10th,
yes.
and later on to the 10th SSC and then higher secondary. Will you give this much attention to football when you are in the critical period?
I think I'll have to focus on studies more, but I'll try and balance it out.
Yeah. But ultimately, what is your focus? It's studies or playing football?
Education always comes first.
Education. But if you get very big money, will your focus change?
Then I think I'll have to take up sports, but I'll also keep going with
Keep
studies.
on. And what about Asma? You will continue playing, or at one time later on you will shift your focus and you say, no, I think I must devote for studies.
I'll try to make time for football also because I want to continue the sport.
Yeah. And when you play, what do you feel?
Like
Express that feeling if possible. Do you enjoy being with the others?
yes,
What is that special thing that makes you attractive to sports, games? All youth, all youngsters, they love to play. Is the same with you also?
yeah, because I have a dream for playing for India team,
Okay.
and because of that, I want to continue the sports.
Yeah, and what about Lillian? What is your final objective?
I want to represent the state, get Goa, India out there. Yes, so I want to keep going and become someone else.
And do you think that with the training that you get now, it's enough for you to climb up the ladder?
No, we don't have many facilities because if suppose we go for nationals now, Goa is nowhere like the other states.
Yes.
So we have to get like more facilities.
Yeah, you need to get on. What do you say?
We definitely need a lot of support and motivation and like all the facilities, incentive coming from the authorities. Also, I would say that as young players, the time is also there for doing their own practice every day. You have to commit because to balance their studies, academics, they are multi-talented also in various other cultural. I know Asma's family is promoting her on various other things. So if they can make a time and have a goal like what she has said to represent the country, they can definitely do it. But ultimately, it will come down to the individual. No matter how much hardships you have in life, if you are determined and if you have made up a mind, you can achieve whatever you have in your heart.
Yeah, but then with the type of training that you get now in Goa, you think there is a space for individual development?
Yes, definitely. I think because see, personally, I have my passion and I was basically a volleyball player, but also very much interested in football. And you have now on YouTube and all those other training facilities, even online you can register to be trained by our renowned coach. So whether you have that resource and that time commitment, that is a question mark. But if you are really committed and have the resources or support, you can really shine and do well for yourself. And the finance is coming in. Maybe right now not in Goa, but the states around, like say Bangalore is a good center initially to step in. but I think the future is bright for them.
But when you say the future is bright, and you look at the performance of the Goa team in the nationals and even national games. Now, this year the women's did not even qualify for national games. Luckily, they qualified for the men's. But if you look at their performance in the men's section, they finished last in their group. So, with this performance is going down, how do you look for the future?
The men's thing is a bit very specialized. I'm more familiar with the women's scene.
Okay.
That's why I said, and I've been following up, as you know, the university team.
Yes.
And I said we are already there in the top 4, All India Inter-University. It is only that one victory may be here and there, I think, and the full ecosystem and the change will come in Goa. Because we have talented girls who are really working hard, they are practicing, and I hope definitely that if they come close to the championship in Khelo India, it will be a big stage and it can change the face of Goan women's football. Men, of course, the clubs are doing their bit in various.
Yeah, but then even then in men's,
Yes.
the performance is going down.
Yeah, because see, also if you think back, earlier the states, other states were not sort of competing. Say Bengal, Punjab, Kerala, fine. But now most of the big states, they have corporate support and they have academies all over. Even women's academies are there in various states where they did not know what is football initially. Say 15 years back, they were not familiar. But now they have academies and they compete with us. And they are far better. Sometimes they are far better.
So, how do you justify that the other states now are competing and perhaps doing even better than Goa?
If you look at the very typical example of Odisha, they are doing extremely well because the government is supporting them totally. And there is some kind of a lack that is happening on our end in terms of the amount of resources and the infrastructure. There is infrastructure. I remember as Compassion FC, when we wanted to play on the grounds, we were asked to make payments. We are a group of people working for the underprivileged and the marginalized. And unfortunately, we put in our own resources and we do things. Like we had to run from pillar to post, and we were told that we need to pay certain amount of money for practices. If we have to pay for the practice, if we want a ground and we don't have it, right now we are at the mercy of many schools and institutions, Catholic institutions, which are helping us. Earlier we used to train at SVD in Raya. This year we have shifted to Presentation Convent, Presentation School in Margao, because that is more central, easier for people to come from different places. We have girls coming from Vasco, we have girls coming from Bardes, we have Aldona, she's coming from Aldona, we have people coming from Dabal, we have girls coming from Kepe and from everywhere. So one of the biggest challenges that we are seeing is, like as you're rightly asking the question, I think GFDC was formed with great intentions and it is going on. However, much is more desired. The sports department also has a role to play. If you are looking at the structure of the national games medals tally and then we are not performing, then we have to ask ourselves this question, why? And I think there are reasons. I mean, I'm not trying to put anybody down for anything. Everybody is doing their bit, but there is much more desired. And if that takes place, then 100%, like what Milton said, earlier some of the states did not play. Jharkhand was not known to play. You never heard Himachal playing. And in the senior nationals, we also lost to Himachal, right? I am in this thing. Yeah. So the tournaments like where teams were never playing, today they are there. Why? Is because of the finances that are there involved in it. The money is there. When the money is there, then obviously, like even Milton said, every state has academies now. And they are run by corporates. Whereas for us in Goa, the corporate sector, I don't know whether they are really doing enough. Could they do more? I think yes. If they start, just trying to get people to provide the resources and the infrastructure that is required for the ecosystem, it will definitely bloom. There is a talent.
Yeah, but football is the official state sports of Goa.
Yes.
Now, except that you have a GFDC, which today is dormant, there is no chairman of the GFDC for the last 2 years. Their budget has been decreased from 5 crores to 3 crores or whatever it is, and the performance is going down. Obviously, there is something very, very much wrong in the way that the sport is being promoted.
I remember being a part of the GFDC along with you when it was formed by late Manohar Parikarji, our chief minister, who had the desire and this thing of looking at the Goan football sport as the official state sport. It was declared in the assembly and then the formation of the GFDC, and we were part of the GFDC ourselves. So, of course, what is happening is there has been that this thing which has been put, the foundation was laid. What is now needed is that constant look at it, evaluation, audit, and all those things. And if that today we hear that we are trying to get players who will come and they will motivate and all that, I seriously have my doubts with bringing any of the top players of the world to come to India for a day or two. Nothing is going to happen. What is needed is a change in the system. And unless and until our young girls like this, like Asma and Lillian and all the others, if they don't get that kind of a support system, actually you've been asking them, I've heard you ask them questions, do you need more? And yes, of course they need more. Scientific training is required. There must be some kind of this thing that will give them an opportunity to rise up to the level of being in the national level teams. So if that happens, it will only be the government. Of course, there is the PP, the partnership must take place between the corporates and the government and these football association. So all of them in the ecosystem have to contribute to it, and we are also part of it, and we need to do our best.
I have a question for Lillian. Have you been playing for any of the GFDC centers?
No.
You never played. And what about Asma? Did you play for any GFDC center? In Audona, if I'm not mistaken,
Kitla.
Yeah,
there
Kitla.
was, in Kitla there was.
I started playing football there.
You started with the GFDC center in Kitla.
Kitla.
And for how many years did you play there?
I think so. Before COVID, I started.
Yeah.
There was a big break, and then I was in 4th standard when the school started. I was playing to 4th and 5th, like 4 years. I think so. I played.
Under GFDC.
Yes.
And after that, and now, what is the
Now
center?
I go for coaching.
But is the GFDC looking after you? Is
Yeah.
there a center of GFDC in Kitla?
Yeah,
There is. Do you go there or you don't?
I don't go there now.
Why?
Because I do my studies, and then after studies I go to play, and that time the Kitla.
Kitla center is not
Yeah.
open for you. And what about any centers that you are connected with, the GFDC?
See, most of the centers that are happening around in Naveli, or whether it is Dabal, or whether most of the centers, they are still running. They're still running. They are not moving forward. There are lack of every coach of GFDC whom I meet and I talk to, because I meet them on a regular basis. So there have been those challenges, as you rightly said, that we don't have a chairman for the last 2 years of the GFDC. We are not here to talk about GFDC, but definitely GFDC was the base that was formed, and it did great job. Today it needs really something little more, and it will do much better. It will flourish. Goa can improve a lot if there is some seriousness put.
But there must be a well-defined, measurable plan.
Absolutely agreed with you, and that is what was being tried even when CATS and all those people were part of the program.
Yeah.
That was there was an excellence academy.
No, you basically, Katz Naidu, who was there
Yes.
at that time, he was an excellent technical director who set up the roadmap for football development in Goa. With his exit, there has been no good technical director worth its name.
I don't know whether there is any technical director at the moment at all. If at all it is going on, it's only going on with the coaches running the programs. There is a football development officer and those people are doing their administrative jobs. But when it comes to football, it is technical. And when technicalities have to be handled, we had this great privilege of having Savio Madeira as the All India Football Federation head of the coaches education. And through him, there were many things that were happening initially. But now he's also not there, a part of it. Nothing is happening from their end. GFA has its own set of issues and problems. Although there is a lot of futsal, there's a lot of beach football, there's a lot of regular football, C license programs, D license programs, including what is being run by the Salgaunkars, by the Seza Football Academy and many of them. Things are there. But is that enough for a state like Goa, and does it actually penetrate into the grassroots?
You talked about beach football. Now there are 4 youngsters from Goa who have been selected for the India team to play in the AFC. Now they were selected following open trials and they didn't go through any association or anybody for that matter. So it only shows the level that we are now, and if these girls are aiming for something big, they should not feel disappointed towards the end. If they want to make it to the national team, and if they don't make it because of these deficiencies, then who is to be blamed?
They have an opportunity, no doubt. Here they have to be supported and a lot of things have to be in order. But as I fall back, because only a few can represent the country, right? So if they make up their mind, because I know the parents are supporting, but they also have to balance their academics. They can, if they are really doing well, as Mr. Kennedy said, some of our girls are already playing in clubs outside Goa.
Yes.
So they have an opportunity, but that balancing act to focus on academics and your coaching, because as things are now, we have the sort of like initial stage they can sustain, but beyond that to like have that competitive age, as said earlier, we require many things to fall in place so that we can really say that okay, anybody who aspires to do well, I get into a program and then I can go along in the pathway.
Lillian, are you happy with the support that you get now for you to become a good football player? And if not, what do you think you need?
I do get a lot of support from my parents, my coaches, but like again the facilities, like if we could get more facilities, that would be better.
Jovito, she is into athletics and she trains under Patrick, the SAG coach for athletics. And she's actually, she's a good athlete. She's a good footballer, but she's also a good athlete. And many of the times when I speak to this coach, we don't have a track at all in South Goa. How do we train? So they have to come all the way from there to practice at Bambolim or go to Mapsa. So the challenges are plentiful. I'm just talking about that. But even in football, we may see number of grounds that are there. But for every ground that you want to use it, you have to pay, and pay a lot of money. We know that we have to pay it. But where will that money come from? Is there a policy of... I just heard today that the Shama Prasad Mukherjee is going to be given to somebody from Mumbai for something. Now the university had it was developed during the Lusophonia Games for sport, and that's the only indoor stadium which we have. But unfortunately now the decisions that are being taken, not to give it for sport but to give it for people, because there will be revenue coming in for the government. That is a little pathetic condition for us to accept the fact.
But in the end, who will go disappointed are these youngsters with all this happening now. And if they continue playing, say, one tournament in 1 year, I don't see much brighter future for them. it should not be a discouragement, but you keep on playing. But then for their overall development and to come up to higher standards, there has to be a program.
Yeah.
If there is no such a program, ultimately you are fooling the young people.
As of now, they are not having that many opportunities. And as I said, the other states are doing well because of academies and competition. Recently in January, we had that All India tournament where we took part. A team from Madhya Pradesh, Narmada Valley. Now earlier we have never heard any team in football, especially women's football, coming and doing well from Madhya Pradesh. But those girls, young girls, under 15, under 17, they are really playing well. And they are technique and tactic wise, they were far mature girls. So that's why that focus has to be there, and maybe like government definitely has a big say. Even corporate can support because the talent is there. That's why, like as you said,
Yes,
we know the
yes.
talent is there. We have to be channelized and they have to be supported well.
At the end, they should not be disappointed. But they want to excel, but that support is not forthcoming. And women's football needs much more bigger support than what they are getting. I wish Ashma and Lilian a bright future. Keep on. You do your work. You keep on growing yourselves. Don't look this side or that side. And the organizers will be there to support you. And we wish you all the best. And to Compassion, we wish more laurels, more trophies. And you are doing excellent work despite the fact that you have no money and you are not a corporate. Thank you very much for being with us, and all the best, especially to Lillian and Asma. And Milton and Kennedy, continue doing your excellent work for the promotion of football especially and sports in general. Thank you very much.
We are grateful to CCR TV for having us, and thank you, Jovito Bob. Thank you for the team over here for having us on this thing today. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.